Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. That's a Truman Show. Anyway, we're going to talk about kettlebells today, and I want to talk about 3 exercises you can do with them. What muscles can we train with the kettlebell? Your whole body. You can either be doing deadlifts or presses or swings or lots of things, but the 3 exercises we're going to go through are kettlebell swings, windmills, and a Turkish get-up. Now, Turkish get-ups are a little bit more in depth, so we're trying to save a bit of time later on to talk mostly about that, but it's one of those advanced movements. It's a Turkish get-up, not a Kurdish get-down. That is a good personal trainer joke for other personal trainers, but you guys might not find that funny. Let's get into the exercises. With kettlebell swings, we're gonna have to talk about form. It is a hinge. From our hips are going to be the main driving focus. You want to use your bum. You want to use your bum to push that kettlebell forwards instead of using it as a squat. So let me show that for example now. If you're doing your kettlebell swing wrong, it might be a bit tough to get that momentum going and keep the rhythm because you might be bending too much in the knee and kind of going down. You might be using it more of a squat. Instead of here where we're hinging with our hips, our bum comes back and we drive our glutes really tight to push that kettlebell forwards. It's more like a pendulum. If that kettlebell is penduluming, then we're going to be in a much better spot to be able to keep that momentum and use your glutes to drive that kettlebell forwards. Here's where we have a bit of considerations. Do we have lower back issues and should we be doing it? Because that's one of the biggest questions I get. If you've got a weaker back where the muscles aren't as developed and you sit down a lot, we might be able to do kettlebell swings to strengthen our lower back. On the other side, you've got something that is really aching and you know that it's an injury and there might be like degrading discs or actual vertebrae are damaged or ligament issues or nerve ending issues. That's a different thing entirely. You've got an injury there. You can't be doing kettlebell swings if you're under an injury because it's going to put too much pressure on it and you need to start smaller. Make sure you're aware of what the issue is before you actually start doing them. Now with windmills, windmills might be a relatively new exercise for you. It's still kind of doable, it's in that same range as a kettlebell swing, but you need a bit more mobility and it still trains your legs, trains your lower back, but also it includes your shoulder and a little bit of twisting. So first off, you want to have your feet wide. Get the kettlebell in your hand, as you can see here, have it above your head, and then reach your other hand down your leg. And what we're going to do is we're going to see how far we can, as we turn, reach our hand down our leg. It might only get down to your knee, it might get down to your ankle. If it gets to the floor, you're very flexible, you're better than me. The main focus here as well is what we do with the position of our hips. Drive our bum backwards and then turn. If we do that, it puts tension into the hamstring of the leg that we're turning away from and also into the glutes of that leg as well. The biggest thing I see is when people do this, they start getting freaked out a bit and they start looking for a place to focus, to balance. The best place to look at is the kettlebell in your hand when it's overhead, staring at that kettlebell as you turn, getting those hips back and pulling in your belly button, keeping your core nice and tight. That is the windmill. Make sure you do both sides. Now finally, we've got Turkish Get-Ups. They are complicated. I want you to focus. I might flub up some of these lines and that's fine. Yes, flub, that's another new word. So many new words today, but I hope you enjoy them. To start, we're laying on the ground with the kettlebell next to our shoulder. I'm gonna demo this, not with a kettlebell, but with my phone. Watch this very quickly to show the amount of balance you need to make sure that you don't smash your phone screen on the floor when you do this. It's all about control, it's not about strengthening your way through it. So as you can see, my arm's straight like we just said, pressing that kettlebell up, my right arm comes out to the side, my left leg comes up to my knee, and I turn my hips to the side. I then press up onto my hand, lift my hips up to the sky, and bring my right leg through and under to replace my other hand where my knee places. I then shift my weight onto my hips. I come up, turn my leg into a lunge, and stand all the way tall. Okay, now we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through that one more time and we're really gonna talk about it. With the part where I'm rolling over, so I've pressed my arm up to the sky, my arm's out, my palm is down to the ground, and I turn. I'm not just turning with my abs, I'm pressing with that bent leg to rotate my hips over to get up onto my elbow to then be able to extend my arm. So use that leg to press and turn and get that rotation. From there, I'm lifting my hips up as high as I can to have as much space. If we only lift up our hips a tiny bit, it's going to be difficult to get our leg through. Have the really high hip position and pull that leg underneath. When we do, bring our leg to our hand, put your knee down next to your hand. Don't have it go underneath your body out to the distance like this. This is what I see a lot. People lifting their hips up, bringing their leg through, and then they're almost trying to play twister instead of actually doing the right thing with their Turkish get-up. You want your knee to be over by your hand to replace the weight that's being put into it. If you don't bring your knee over to your hand and it's off somewhere else, then you're just gonna flop down to the ground as soon as you lift your hand up. Replace it and make a really nice triangle from your foot to your knee to your other foot. When you're shifting up, focus on your hand being nice and tall and long. If you don't do that, it's just gonna fall down as you stand up. Same thing with your lunge up. Now, we've gone through all of that. That is a very complex, advanced movement. If you don't quite get it, that's fine. Just do it without any weight. Try with your own body, just pointing at the ceiling. But it's more about what you're doing with your lower body. And it trains your whole body. It does every single thing, every single muscle, every single joint, and it's really good for mobility as well. I would give it a try if you can, but again, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this video about kettlebells. I know it might have been a bit more in depth than we normally do about certain exercises, or a little bit more complex. What I'd like to ask you guys to do about engagement is give us some feedback. Tell us how you've enjoyed our videos. Give them a watch through and think about, oh, I remember watching that one. What did I like about that? Or, oh, I didn't mind that one, but it was a bit, Please let me know. And I hope you've enjoyed the video today. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Wow. Oh, itchy nose!